Now, the electric vehicle, I had to do a little bit more digging on this because it definitely was something that I was like, like anybody else, when you talk about electric and NASCAR and racing, you're like, yeah, no. But I feel like NASCAR, simply because of the headline of electric vehicle, they will get a lot of flack for what it's bringing, and they will potentially lose the vast majority of their grassroots fans and the vast majority of their fan base, simply because of the word electric. And after reading the article, I thought it was interesting considering that O'Donnell and the other guy, they actually went to Asia and did their research and homework on how H2 racing works. But I'm not 100% sold on it or on board on it. But I think with the technology and the new changing of the limits of it, I like to see how it works out though. I like to see how the H2 car works or EV car.
As the oldest fan on here, like I'm probably somewhere in the middle. Like the fans older than me are going to say, they're not. I'm with Caleb. They're not going to have anything to do with it. They're not even going to entertain it. A lot of them are going to um, resist heavily. I think uh, anything to do with that. And the main thing is going to be. I hate to break this down very superficially, but I'm just going. I don't even know any other way to say it other than the sound, the smell, and the fuel that is NASCAR, is like being compromised in their minds here. And well, I think it'd be a very cool niche thing to throw out there every once in a while for maybe like exhibitions and stuff. Like, you know, I just don't get the whole EV thing personally, and I know like it's maybe my generation and back, but I mean, everybody's pushing EV. Do we have the the electrical infrastructure in this country to support if everybody goes out and get an electric vehicle? No. Um, the batteries are so toxic, and how to dispose of them. Um, it, I don't know. To a lot of people, this could be like this move to what they perceive as a made up crisis. So like I just think there's a lot of things politically involved in this that's going to not land well with the fan base. Not I just think it just comes down to simple. If you want to not touch that part of it, which I get, it's just going to come down to, are they going to sound like NASCAR race cars when they peel off and they're going around and you're live at a track? Are they going? Is it the smells, the sounds, the rubber, the fuel? Is that what we're going to get? No. So like I'm very interested to see it, to see what it looks like. But when I tell you, knowing me, I'm just gonna say it's probably not gonna land well.
I mean, I can't agree with you more, Gene, about what you said about electric cars. That, like, we don't have the infrastructure for that. And not on top of that, but I don't know if you guys have heard, but getting like a batteries replaced in an electric car is very expensive. And I think that's going to be very expensive for the race teams. And I don't know how much more, how much less, or I don't know the dollar amount that it would cost for a Cup Series team, for example, to switch those out or to repair them, but it's going to be expensive. And not only that, but the people you have working on the cars now are used to working on the gasoline engines, and they're going to require more training to be able to work on these electric race cars. And that's going to cost the teams even more to have to pay to get their employees trained, or they're going to have to go and search for a new workforce to find people who are certified or whatever, who can efficiently and quickly work on these electric cars, assemble them, maintain them, or whatever. But I just don't think that electric cars is not NASCAR. I mean, let's be real. And I just a good portion of their fans are gonna just stop watching, and it's not good. And if you go to the track, like one of the main things about NASCAR is just hearing it and feeling it, and just going to the track, and just that's a big part of it. And if you go there and you're just sitting there in the stands and it's quiet and there's like speakers playing car noises, that's not gonna cut it. And I mean, I guess having an electric car, I guess it's cool. It's something that you could, you know, use for pit stop practice, like they have been doing. But just to show it every once in a while, to have some fun with it, whatever, it's no big deal. But if you want to incorporate that into a full time cup car, that's not gonna fly. That's not gonna work.
They didn't do any EV exhibition because of the inclement weather stuff going on,
Good,
right?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, that's like God saving NASCAR from themselves, man. I think because
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know that we. I mean, we did communicate how concerned we are with what that effort was, but even having the week to think about what we even said, I'm not sure that was going to ever be a good idea. So that might be the good Lord saying, NASCAR, go sit down because y'all are doing too much and this is not going to work.
I'm sure NASCAR is going to try to find a way to squeeze it in somewhere, some way, somehow, just to see some way.
Yeah. Can you imagine them rolling that out in Wilkesboro before the All-Star race and that crowd? Oh, that crowd would
You
light
mentioned
them up.
I was about to say, you mentioned the folks booing Bubba, man, and how bad they were to him. Just imagine they rolled that electric car out, man. They might actually riot.
I was just about
Amen.
to say that.
You know
Yeah,
I
what?
was just about to mention Bubba Wallace and how that he was booed.
Yeah. You know what? I hope NASCAR does that because for once, you give Bubba a break. Like, yeah, you don't
yeah,
deserve that. That might take the heat off Bubba. Just throw an EV car out there going, running around, running around Wilkesboro, sounding like a lawnmower or whatever it's gonna sound like, or a drone. It might even sound like a
yeah.
drone.
That's more like it.
Yeah,
I think a lawnmower will have more horsepower than that will.
they might they might put some speakers, some Bluetooth speakers in the rear bumper and play some car noises as it's going around the track. Play
Man, I
some
tell
Gen
you,
4 NASCAR sounds going around the track.
you alluded to that last week, man, and it's kind of comical to talk about. But if they were to pipe in real horsepower noise for an EV series, that would be just so typical of the world we live in right now. That would, man. Just everything's fake as a snack cake, man.